You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. Great to be with you here today. Excited to get into our first house call of the weekend. This is where we answer all of our community's questions each and every weekend. Always excited to see what people have written in with. All sorts of questions: wellness, weight loss, anti-aging, health coaching, career, you name it, we cover it here. So I'm excited to give you my perspective, my experience on what I've seen happen in my practice, and just over the past 18 years or so working with people, on a full-time basis. So, really excited, like I said, to get into these questions. These ones are coming in from the beginning of November. So November 1st, we have a bunch of questions from. If you wrote in after November 1st, your question will be coming up on a future podcast. So actually, it looks like we have November 1st, 2nd, 3rd coming in today, and then tomorrow will be the 4th, 5th, 6th, a little bit more than that. So we'll be able to get through about 6 to 10 questions each day. And of course, you can get your questions answered almost same day, within 24 hours to 48 hours, Monday through Friday, right over at cabralsupportgroup.com. That is a free Facebook group that we allow all of our positive community members to join. You're there to hopefully not just ask questions, but also to support others, which is what it's all about. So head on over there if you haven't already joined. We would love to have you, of course. And now let's get into the show. The first question is coming in from Meghan. Meghan's asking, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I love listening to your podcast while I work out, especially the recent ones on Ayurveda. They keep me motivated and excited to make healthy choices throughout my week. I recently enjoyed your podcast on the 7 foods you eat daily and you can't live without. Your discussions on food have helped me to fine-tune my diet, like eating oats and berries more frequently. In your podcast, you mentioned that you like to hear if some of your listeners eat on a regular basis and can't live without. I eat Granny Smith apples almost every day. I'm prone to constipation, so it's really important that I get the right type of amount of fiber every day. I don't know what it is about an apple, but it truly does keep the doctor away. That, along with plenty of water, of course. I'm curious to know your thoughts on that, since I haven't heard you talk much about the benefits of apples. I recently started listening within the last few months. Is it merely fiber content, or is there something else too? Or maybe just found something that's good for my body?" Meghan, thank you for writing in. That's a great question. You know what? I'm going to do a Friday review on apples coming up. And the reason is that there are so many benefits to apples, and I can't recommend them enough. Granny Smith is absolutely fantastic. That is a lower glycemic, more tart apple, probably closer to the original form. The sweeter the apple, most likely the more hybridized it's been over the years. And it's funny because I have now been eating an apple a day myself since this fall. We went apple picking like we always do with my girls, and they love it too. We're out there, we're picking apples, we're going on a hayride, we're doing all that fun stuff, right? Sometimes getting a pumpkin at that time of the year. I don't even know if that's true or not. If we get a pumpkin that time of the year, probably not. That's past apple picking season, but we go to the same farm. And what I've been doing literally every single day. So I just got back from a trip down to Texas. And wherever I go, I always go to the local Whole Foods, or if it's out west, I go to Sprouts or Erewhon, which is probably my favorite. And what I do is I get however many apples I need while I'm there for the number of days, plus I get one for the plane ride home. Now, if I'm traveling, I don't make a smoothie in the morning. I try to find a local place that I can get one. But on this last trip, I was in a downtown area. Now, in Austin, I can get lots of places, but I was in Dallas, and where I was, there was not a lot of great places. So what I did was I had my daily nutritional support shaker, and I did that every single morning. Super easy to do because it has a little extra carrying cases in the new all-in-one shaker that we have. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, just go over to equilibriumnutrition.com and check out the lifestyle products. Super cheap. They're not expensive at all, and they're pretty amazing. So I do that, and what I did was I ate an apple every morning with my shake, and then I had a pear every afternoon. So super easy, 2 things that are easy to carry around, and 2 things that I can always find organic. I can't always find organic berries. I love my organic berries. There's no doubt about that. And I put them in my smoothie. But every day, I have been consistent. I missed one day. That's it. I've only missed one day without eating an apple. And so many benefits that I will talk about in an upcoming podcast. I probably went on way too long with this question. But here's the thing. They've been shown to help with type 2 diabetes, been shown to help with cholesterol, with cancer, with constipation. Here's why. Okay, so about 25 carbs per apple, but it contains 4 grams of fiber. That's pretty impressive, right? That's about, how much fiber is that at 25? About 20% or so of that. And so when we look at it, it has also something we call flavonoids. Some people like to pronounce it flavonoids, but there's only one consonant in the middle there. And so with the flavonoids, what we have is the body's ability to squelch free radical damage, to lower inflammation. Pretty powerful stuff. I will definitely talk about them because I'm a big believer now. I really am. An apple a day does keep the doctor away. So I love that. And I cut up apple slices. My wife does it most of the time for my girls in the morning. Okay. Ideally, if you're getting apples, try to get organic. Really, really important that you're not eating those pesticides and the wax. If you can take your fingernail and run it along the skin and this white stuff starts to flake off, that means the variety you're getting have been heavily waxed. Not a huge advocate of that. All right, Misty's up next. Misty's asking, hello, I've been listening to Steve Cabral's podcast, and I applied in October to go to school for integrative health, but I'm nervous that the school is so new that I might not get the education that I need. I'm a registered nurse with intensive care and post-recovery from surgical procedures. Ultimately want to own my own health center and nutrition classes. As of right now, I'm going to Maryland University of Integrative Health for the Master's in Nutrition and Integrative Health. Do you or Stephen know of this school? It's regionally accredited, but I want to make sure that I'm getting what I pay for. It's pretty expensive. They over postgraduate certifications, so must say they offer postgraduate certifications in aromatherapy, Chinese medicine, and yoga, which I intend to obtain when I'm done. Please help. I need some advice. Misty. All right, Misty, I think it's great. I mean, there's no doubt about it. If you want the education, go for it. If it's only locally accredited, go for it. The point, yes, we can keep accumulating all the pieces of paper that we want, and they're great. There's no doubt about it. But what's really most important is your knowledge base, right? And your passion to help people. And that's the biggest thing I tell people right now. Like, honestly, it really is. I can't recommend that enough. Don't go to a school just for the piece of paper. Get a certification, such as the Integrative Health Practitioner Certification, level 1 or level 2, which is even that much more in depth where you learn about the lab testing. And focus on helping people. Now, this seems like it could be a great school. I know nothing about it. And since you run into Ask Cabral, nobody else sees these questions except me. So I think it's great. Honestly, I think it's fantastic. I don't know what it looks like in terms of licensure. Maybe you'll be able to get licensed, but I don't know what your license would be in since you have a master's degree in nutrition and integrative health. But you don't need a license, right? Like, that's the truth, is like, you can be a certified integrative health practitioner like we offer. You can be a health coach. The truth is that you're going to build your wellness center. People are going to come to you because their friends told them to, local community, because you get people great results. So keep going with your study. Never let it end. I read over 150 books to 200 books still a year. I read research every single week. I bring you that every single Friday, So just keep going with it. You're doing great. Keep up the great work. Andrew's up next. Hello, quick question. I started the seed cycling that Dr. Ball mentioned and advised. I was wondering how long I could expect to do the seed cycling before changes in my menstrual cycle. I know it depends on the person, and there are many different variables. I'm a woman. I'm 26 years old, 130 pounds, very healthy other than no menstrual period for 2 years. I've done cycling for 1 month thus far, and will continue it, and definitely any help would be appreciated. I'm grateful for you all. Thank you in advance, Andrea. All right, Andrea, yeah, great question. We look at 3 to 4 cycles. That's what we look for most women, especially coming off the pill. So we help a lot of women come off birth control, because of either digestive issues, they have IUD-based issues with heavy metals, all sorts of issues, acne and bloating, mood, low mood, depression, etc. So the truth is this, that cycling is very powerful, but I couldn't recommend enough. I could not recommend enough running a thyroid adrenal hormone test to see what's going on, why you don't have a cycle, because it very well could be high levels of cortisol, poor levels of sleep. It could be thyroid issues. So I recommend the thyroid adrenal hormone test. That's my next step. If you're not getting enough just from the seed cycling, if you didn't want to do the lab testing, I'd probably recommend the estrogen balance in the morning and at night. And I'd recommend the Adrenal Soothe, at least 2 capsules at dinner, maybe 1 with lunch, and the Deep Sleep Protocol, or at least magnesium at night. Again, I can't give you exact recommendations because I'm just going by a podcast. I'm not here to cure, treat, or diagnose any diseases, but that's exactly the recommendations I would give just from the information I have. All right? Darrow's up next. Darrow's writing in, hey, I'm a firefighter working shifts and nights. I'm reading your Man's Guide to Muscle and Strength. Great book. I'm a Vata Pitta body type. More Vata. Was wondering how I should go about training given my work schedule. Sometimes we have major calls for hours of strenuous work in smoke-filled environments or nights where you're out working. Should I still train those days or count it as a strength day? I have friends I train with in the construction industry who are working hard every day who have similar concerns. Keep up the good work. Also, what do you recommend if one has been briefly exposed to smoke inhalation? What immediate measures can I do to minimize any potential? Thank you. Darrow, thank you so much. And I actually work with a ton of Boston firefighters. And I wrote about firefighters in my book, The Rain Barrel Effect. I would love for you to get a copy of The Rain Barrel Effect and keep it in the firehouse. Let the guys read it. Let everybody read it there, guys and girls who are working. And I think that would be great. So what can you do to minimize smoke? Absolutely. If you've been in a fire, okay, and you've had any type of smoke inhalation, and the other thing is too, just keep in mind, Darrow, you probably don't know this, firefighters wear flame retardant suits. Makes sense, right? I mean, that obviously you're going into a fire. The problem is those flame retardants can cause toxicity buildup in the body. I recommend all the firefighters I work with to run a toxicity test. Just go to equilibriumnutrition.com and type in toxicity test. You'll find it. And that will let you know what's going on with your body with flame retardants, etc. Okay, after a fire, can't recommend enough doing an infrared sauna. Hands down, absolute best thing to do, infrared sauna. Try to get your firehouse to buy an infrared sauna. If you don't know what an infrared sauna is, just go to stevencabral.com/podcast and type in infrared sauna. You'll see all the ones that I recommend. One is portable. It's smaller. Probably be a good investment just for yourself as well to use in the off days when you're not at the firehouse. Then I can't recommend enough, every 6 weeks maybe because you're a firefighter, ours is the Dr. Ball detox, but you can run a functional medicine detox to really help your liver eliminate all of these flame retardants, plastics. I mean, think of all the stuff burning inside of a house, all the plastic, all the dyes. It's super toxic. So that's what I would do in terms of working out. On your strenuous days, no, I would not work out. I would do the sauna. And then on the days that you're not working, I would make that my workout days. For your buddies in construction, well, I mean, I grew up with all those different types of trades. And for sure, what you need to do is really moderate those workouts. I mean, it really depends, like how strenuous the construction job. If you're a manual labor, for sure, that's hard work. So what I would do is probably 3 days a week of my workouts, like strength-based workouts, and then you're working every day in the trade, picking up wood and steel metal, like all sorts of supplies. So again, it depends on the person and depends on how wiped out you are. Also depends your age. You're going to be working out 5 days a week doing strength training while doing manual labor. Probably not a good idea. So it's always individualized. I hope that's a good place to get started. Haley's up next. Hi, I was just wondering if there's a podcast from you guys on acid reflux and natural ways to diminish the symptoms. Thanks. Absolutely, Haley. Just go to stevencabral.com/podcast and type in acid reflux or type in GERD, G-E-R-D, and you'll get all the recommendations there about talking about the lower esophageal sphincter, talking about H. pylori, talking about running an organic acids test, a stool test, talking about fermentable-based foods, talking about food combining. So that is many podcasts in itself. So you'll find all the information on acid reflux at stevencabral.com/podcast. Remember, most questions have already been answered, so head on over there and just type in your keyword. Tiffany's up next. I'm on day 7 of the 21-day detox and had a failed lunch. I'm in the military and only had a dining hall to choose from. Will picking up right where I left off be okay? Or do I need to do something special to start over? Tiffany, you wrote this on November 3rd. Currently, I'm recording this on January 24th. Apologize, but obviously we're 3 months too late, right? So here's the thing. I write this on the page. I know not everybody reads all the words. I totally understand. I don't read all the words on a page either. But the thing is, if you want same-day answers, just go to cabralsupportgroup.com, ask it right there, or ask it over at support@stephencabral.com or support@equilibriumnutrition.com. We're there to take care of you. We will absolutely take care of you, but the Ask Cabral questions are every 12 weeks. And Tiffany, I hope you understand is that you have not failed. You're good. Honestly, just to be honest with you, you're good. You are good. I talked about this. I was just doing a recording for the Integrative Health Practitioner certification. I told people, when you're working with clients, I know that you would love 100% compliance, but the truth is, do you want 100% of nothing, or do you want 80%, 90% of the protocol? And of course, you want the 80 to 90%. Pick right up where you left off. Keep on going. No harm done. This is a journey. No one 7-day or 21-day detox is going to be the end-all, be-all. It is your path to the absolute best wellness, body transformation, and overall anti-aging that you can get. There's no doubt about it, but this will not be your last. Keep on going and then maintain those results once you're done. Okay. Laura's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm scheduled to have double jaw surgery at the end of February. I finished your CBO protocol and will do your CBO finisher heal and seal protocol before my surgery. What would you recommend to do before my surgery in order to prepare? Any supplements I should be taking, natural remedies? I'll be on your CBO finisher, but is there anything else I should incorporate? For the surgery, I've been prescribed a lot of medication, anti-nausea, and I know for sure I'll be doing antibiotics. You can see it's a lot of medication. What do you recommend I do after the surgery so I can make sure my gut isn't completely ruined after going through your whole CBO protocol? What supplements do you recommend? And question number 3 is, any supplement natural remedies you'd also recommend for after surgery to help heal or help with my pain? I want to try and be as natural as possible, but I don't know how bad I'll feel after. Just so you know, I'll be on an all-liquid diet for 10 days after surgery. Thank you so much for all you do. Really appreciate it. Okay, Laura, a lot of questions in here. Everyone can read these questions at stephencabral.com/1086. That's today's show. And for all previous shows in that search bar, head over to stephencabral.com/podcasts. Okay, so that's a lot of prescription medication. Afrin, nasal sprays, decongestant sprays, oxycodone, ibuprofen, antibiotics, and anti-nausea. Wow. So, I mean, if you have to use them, you have to use them, but you have to be careful with products such as Afrin and decongestants, because the problem is they have a rebound effect if you use them for more than 2 to 3 days. It says on the package. I'm not talking out of turn here, because I know that this is for your medical professionals to advise you on, but I just want you to know that that is what it says. And oxycodone is quite the strong medication. I understand you're having jaw surgery, there's no doubt about it, but it looks like they're also putting you on Mucinex and Tylenol and Benadryl. I mean, we have to be careful on the liver with all of these different medications. But you know, you need to use what you need to use, so I totally get that. I did a podcast on the best anti-inflammatories in terms of pain as well. So that would be white willow bark, it would be bromelain, it would be turmeric, it would be boswellia. But, you know, you have to use what you have to use. And so that's that. Since you're going to be on all of those and they all cause intestinal permeability in their own right, so what I would recommend is this. Once you have the surgery, you'll use the Clean Gut Probiotic, which will help to prevent the yeast overgrowth and the bad bacterial overgrowth. And then after, with it, alongside, I would do another month of the Healthy Gut Support. So it will help with sealing up the gut wall as you're taking your decongestants, as you're taking your joint-based and pain relievers, ibuprofen, all of those cause intestinal permeability. So that's what I would do there. And then you're on a liquid diet, I would absolutely be doing 1 to 2 shakes a day of the daily nutritional support and the daily fruit and vegetable blend. And I would mix in your probiotics and everything right into that. I'd put it probably, if you're on blood thinners, you can't use this, but you could use the liquid omega-3 that we offer. Liquid omega-3 will help a little bit with pain and inflammation as well. I think that is everything. So I wish you well. I think we got to your question before you wrote in, because you're saying it's at the end of February and it's now the end of January. So yeah, we helped. Good. I'm happy to hear that. Next up is Daryl. And let's see. Let's make Daryl the last question of today. I think we did pretty well, somewhere around 10 questions. And we'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. So Daryl's up. Hey, Dr. Brawl, I'm of African descent and I have to shave my face regularly. I do so using a special type of shaving powder and soft sheen, Carson Magic. Listening to your podcast and reading the Rain Barrel Effect has me wondering if there's any major toxic drawbacks from using it. Searching on the EWG website proved futile. If it is negative, can you suggest alternative options I can use using razors that don't create ingrown hairs? Okay, yeah, this is a good question. And actually, Daryl, so let me just see if I can do this quick. Usually I can't do this, to be honest with you, because there's just not enough time to look all these up online. But let me see if I can pop up my internet browser here and look up Soft Sheen Carson Magic. I also don't like to disparage any companies, but let's take a quick look here at the toxicity. We'll go with the Cabral toxicity ratio if the environmental working group does not have it. All right, so I found it in a little canister, and let's see if I can find the ingredients. Okay, so I want to let you know, Daryl, I did look, and they do not have an ingredients label on it, so unfortunately, I can't tell you what the powder is. Here's what you can do, though. Super simple, and this is actually a nice little teaching lesson. And this goes for anyone looking to see if the ingredients are toxic, because maybe your product is not listed on ewg.org. However, what you can do is you can actually type in the actual ingredient one by one. And after you type in the ingredients such as like sodium lauryl sulfate into Google, you can just type in toxicity after whatever the ingredient is, and you'll see if there's any toxicity rating around it or what they say about it. So Daryl, that's what I recommend. There are other much more natural shaving creams out there, and all you have to do is go to EWG. So for anybody who hasn't heard of EWG before, it stands for Environmental Working Group. I believe they're a nonprofit. They're dedicated to teaching people about the toxicity in products. I talk about them quite often in the Rain Barrel Effect. If you haven't read that, I talk about how to find these products. And so all you have to do, because they're always changing, so that's why I don't want to give you one, because these podcasts are evergreen. You can listen to them 20 years from now, and it's still going to be, I believe, applicable content. So Daryl, go over to EWG, and like I'll do right now, literally, EWG. We'll do this live, show you how fast it is. Environmental Working Group is what it stands for. They have a search bar at the very top, and I'm going to type in shaving cream. And then let's see what it pops up with. And they have articles on what's in my shaving cream, mercury concerns in shaving cream, triclosan in shaving cream. So now I have to go under consumer goods, and I'm going to go under consumer products. And then I'm going to go on Skin Deep. So I'm going to shortcut this for you. Go to ewg.org/Skin Deep. Okay? These are all those skincare products. Now type in shaving cream, and we'll see what we find. And we found a bunch. We have Everyman Jack shaving cream as the current best rated one. Most of them get quite a high toxicity rating. And I'll just see if I can find the Magic Cream. I don't know if that's exactly what it was called from before. Carson's from before. Well, I'm going to keep it at that. I'm sure that you can keep looking around. But Everyman Jack was a less toxic one. And then you can also make your own variety. So you can make your own shaving cream. And one of the best ways to make your own shaving cream is to use products that are obviously on the more natural list. So we use natural items such as aloe, and we'll use coconut oil, and we'll use shea butter. So you can absolutely look into how to make your own shaving cream online using natural ingredients, much as like the ones that I just mentioned. So hopefully that was helpful, Daryl. And the other thing that I work with a lot of men, and one thing that I found myself, because my hair is quite coarse. My facial hair is quite thick. Coarse hair, like, just I have thicker hair. It's just the way that it is. And that's part of the more of the kapha I have in myself as well, predominantly vata, but a lot of kapha in my body type as well. So just keep in mind that you can also oftentimes switch to, not everyone likes an electric razor because it isn't as close, but you're less likely to get ingrown hairs because it doesn't pull as deep. And the other thing is, there's a little bit of EMFs with those as well, but you can get a more of a wired-based variety if you prefer. So there are different options, Daryl. That's what I'm trying to just share with you today, and hopefully that was helpful. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Truly appreciate your support. Thank you for all the reviews you're leaving on iTunes. If you haven't left a review, I would absolutely love that. I read every single one, and I'll be back tomorrow to answer more of our community's questions. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stevencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.